Hello, BAME farm fans. It's the Friday of Labor Day weekend, just after Hurricane Ida, and maybe I felt like I should have not have mowed this. That pun didn't work out very well. What are we raking with? The TC. So I tedded this yesterday, and let's just say there was still water running off the tires when I was tedding. I think this was a wet spot in here. I think the water's gone down, but like I said, tires were wet and there was some water on top, but the hay is dry now. We're gonna make some round bales today. A little short on time, had to help Nick with his new mess of a combine. Oh, so we're gonna use the TC because it's light, and with tedding, well, there's all the hay to run over. No windrows to straddle, so we'll use the TC. I used to rake quite a bit with the TC, but it's not super fast making it 2 fields. So, been using the 29 mostly. Saw me use the 1086, so last time it was, I don't know how much horsepower I need, but I know how much I'm gonna use. Well, this, we're gonna mix it up, and we're gonna say, hopefully we have enough horsepower. Really, pulling rakes doesn't take a whole lot. Something like these bar rakes could be done with an ATV, really. I've spread the rakes farther apart. I typically run with the 256, which is a smaller rake, farther out to match, we'll say, the width, and to give me 6 inches more of windrow size. But I've moved the side out for the 260 also, because I'll be round baling. After round baling the last field, I felt like I wanted the windrow just a little bit wider. I don't need it so tight. We've got that super sweep? Yeah, Mega Wide's the John Deere name for it. Don't know why I have that memorized. Okay, how many turns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wonder if we're sitting in a hole on the one tire. That's 8, but that doesn't look very close to the ground compared to this side. Always got to check. Yeah, we're gonna bring this one up and let this one down, and I'll hate this after a while. That probably we're sitting in a hole or something. We'll get off and check, you know, we'll spend a minute and we'll check. It's always easy to check than to sit there and replace a bunch of rake tines. I gotta turn it on. I know we've seen this before, but we'll see it again to just get it really in our memory before we go out with the TC and watch that, because that'll be fun. Yes, Hurricane Ida, for our area around Cincinnati, 3, 4, this one might only be 5 down. Yeah, we're scraping pretty good there. We'll see how we feel about that. That side looks a little lower. That's the joy of adjustment, and we're just hoping we're not sitting in holes. So we'll test it out. Put our twine back on here, which I did this backwards. The short one gets the noose, and it's easier to wrap that direction. Because if these are properly greased, even though they've been outside, they will work their way down on less than smooth fields. Well, it's go time. Time to row it up so we can roll it up. It's always nice to have something to listen to. Oh boy, I think the rakes are way bigger than this tractor. And we're gonna rake in high 1 to start. Might go to high 2, give it a little bit of juice. We don't need much. And I'm gonna start on the far side. This side, I could probably start over here. I don't know if I can make it through those gates anyways. So, plus I always like having the right side against whatever obstacle there is. Last time I did start by raking the outside round first, so that was very nice. Whew. Try not to hit the barn. That's harder to get tangled. Well, it's easy to get tangled up in, but harder to get out of the tangle compared to a fence. Now, we've seen videos in the past where I've square baled all this, especially with the old International baler. And the funny thing was, it was always September. There's been once where I baled this before, and the weeds have gotten worse the earlier I baled it. Like when I was baling it, so yeah, that's how not dry it is. Even the rake tires are wet. It's also why I don't want to square bale it, just because it's gonna need this hour or so in the windrow to re-dry out whatever I ran over. See, what I really want to do sometime is, I don't know, rake with my truck. And this field is big enough I could do that. I would just like to have somebody behind me ready to bale. There, we're kicking up the speed a little bit. Because I know my truck can't turn as tight as the tractor can, obviously. Now we have some leeway to get in the shrubbery a small bit, not too much. I will say I can feel when the rakes pull and the, we'll call it the double tree, that's kind of what style hitch this is. I might as well do this for easier viewing, because I'm watching that anyways. I can drive the tractor and I know this side's fairly straight, so we don't need to look forward. Yeah, the double tree hitch, I can feel it pulling this around when one rake will pull harder, and usually it's the 260. It doesn't spin as free as the 258, and I don't know if that's an age thing or too many new parts that are tight compared to the old rake, which is a bit more worn. But somebody stay close to the edge. See, sometimes I was good about getting the tedder all the way to the edge and cleaning up the grass, and back there I wasn't, so that's gonna drive me nuts. Yeah, it's even getting a little light. I mean, I just have it on the 3-point. We don't have an actual drawbar for this tractor. That's a slight bit annoying. I'm gonna have to drunk drive the baler just to like keep up with the windrow. Look at that, all weaving around. I'll worry about looking forward on the next one, especially when we get around here. Now on this back end, because of the trees, this is dry. We're gonna get out here and we're gonna get our tires wet. I hope the puddles went down. I mean, I had hay on standing water. That's a little weavy. Okay, let's see if I'm ready to make this turn. I did leave a little bit of space between the fence. Uh-oh, we're gonna get close. Oh, well, it's still muddy, but there's, oh geez, yeah, that's dry, not. Oh, and we're gonna be driving right over those tracks when we bale. It's thick hay though, the best hay is back here in the mud. I hope I don't get stuck. I don't want to have an OLF moment and get stuck baling hay. That's just bad. Nick got stuck raking this year and he got stuck with the square baler, but getting stuck with the square baler, can I say, was just pure stupidity. The hay rake, that might have been my fault because I mowed through a wet spot that I knew was going to be wet, but I figured if I made it with the mower, I would be okay with the baler. I should go over there, but I know that's even wetter. Stay away from the fence. I did pretty good over here with the tedder, I think. We don't see too much along the fence. You can see the sage grass fluffing out. I feel like that's blown over from the neighbors, which is just weeds and weeds. And that's why I think this has gotten weedier, because the neighbors just have scrub over there. At least this year they bush hogged it. Last year I don't think it was. And so that's been harboring the white heath aster, which isn't too bad over here now, but it was It was really bad last year, especially on this half of the field. You can kind of, well, I don't know if I can see the color. I know there is a smudge on the camera lens, and that's a permanent scratch. I need to get a new camera, unfortunately. It's been abused enough. But you can see color differences. The places where it's darker, there's a little bit more white heath after, and the grayer, lighter brown areas, you know, are cleaner grass. And then over here where it's white and fluffy, and well, here's the sage grass. And this is former cow pasture. So I figure the nutrients are usually pretty good on the old animal pastures. But it doesn't, fertility doesn't play a difference. We've even got sage grass starting in at home around the pond, and I've ran the chickens around the pond. So they say fertility gets rid of the sage grass. It probably just makes it grow better. Once you get it, you got it. And I don't know how to get rid of it unless you get the ground so rich. And maybe that's the thing. You got to get the ground so incredibly rich, like you're growing row crops. You know what I haven't done yet? The only reason why I can tell is because we're leaving a little bit. Now sometimes sage grass is hard to rake, but I haven't checked our rake tooth depth. Oh, we're getting low. We're getting down in there. You can see them really deep. That's plenty low. This stuff has just probably been ran over, and for some reason the sage grass just sticks to the ground. Now it wasn't this fluffy when I mowed it. It's still green. We'll check the side. Ah, yeah, that's getting down in there. Okay, well, you know the whole raking bit. I'm gonna get to raking. I'll catch up with you later, and I still got a show hooking these things back together. Well, almost halfway across the field. I will say I know why I don't rake a lot with this tractor. It's small, and I'm sure being on my head and the camera, we'll say edits it out, but we feel every bump, every molehill, every little hoof mark, every crawdad mound. That's more truthful for this field. Every crawdad mound, because it's flat. Pancake flat. We have residential on the other side of those trees, and I'm sure those all drain this way. Get all that water. That's flat. The only place the water has to go is down. So that's not good. And someone's gonna say, why don't you tile it? Have we not realized a common theme here that the only dirt I own is the dirt that sticks to the tires? Yeah, I mean, obviously there's the home farm, but you know, that's in mom and dad's name, and that's all their problem to worry about. Well, but like all the hay, you know, whatever dirt sticks to the tires, that's what I own. And hopefully there's not dirt sticking to the tires. So yes, earlier I was talking about how much rain we got from Ida. For the Cincinnati area, we were pretty low. We might have gotten an inch out of like the 3 days between the cold front and the hurricane that was all coming through back to back. We actually got really lucky. So I figured we were okay, but I guess we've just been getting that much steady rain, maybe over here. We're only like 2 miles from home. This has never been wet, and I've never baled it much before August 1st, so it's usually been dry. This is the first time I've actually experienced moisture here other than in the winter when I've had to collect a few bales. And the funny thing is, the cleanest hay is where there's the most water. So the weeds don't like the moisture. So isn't that just fun? It'll be the cheapest raking I've done. This tractor burns barely a gallon an hour, and it takes me 2 hours or less to rake with travel time. And I'm not even running full out, so yeah, I might only use 2 gallons of fuel. other than my time, the cost of fuel will only be $6. And we didn't pay $3 a gallon for fuel, but that's probably about what it is if I had to go out and get the tanks refilled with off-road. And this whole virus mess and the price is running wild. Something's gonna give, and I'm just hoping it drops like a rock sometime. I know there's a lot of us young folks across the board, not just farming, folks trying to buy a house that are younger for the first time. You know, between real estate, building supplies, and everybody thinking they can jack the price up, I mean, geez. I don't know if there's like a perceived shortness. I wish that applied more to hay. I mean, I guess the moisture made it hard to bale a little bit for some folks, so maybe we could claim a short supply there, but nothing like it would be if there was a drought. And you know, I hate price gouging people. It'd be nice to just get across the board every year. Prices stay nice and level. We know what to wake up and expect, but no, we got a thing called the Board of Trade for grain in the stock market. Everybody thinks that's great, which, yeah, if you day trade and sit there and play the market and make a desk job out of it, you can make money, and that's great for those folks. But for everybody out here sweating, it'd be nice to wake up every morning and not to say things were the same, but that could be nice every once in a while. I could go for a day of boring. Today wasn't boring. Unfortunately, I didn't get any video helping Nick with that combine mess. I feel like the geyser of the radiator would have been great footage. He bought it from a John Deere dealer. That's all I'm gonna say. So sweeping the nation right now are armyworms. I don't have armyworms. I got grasshoppers out the wazoo out here. Of course, this hay is probably not, you know, fancy enough, nice enough, whatever, alfalfa, orchard grass, something tender, whatever. This is just some aged fescue. And they probably don't like that so much, so I probably won't have troubles with that, but they're hitching a ride on the rake. That's exciting. Now this area, there's some wet spots back here. This will be exciting. You can almost see the mud on the hay, that extra grayness. Like right here, this is gonna be hay with minerals, and it won't, well, I mean, it'll be dust in the hay, but right now it's a little bit not mineral-like. I'm raking this, even the rakes left ruts right there. That's how much I should not have mowed right here. I'm gonna rake this in a spiral from the center to hopefully not drive over this too much, because every time going through each rut, we sink a little deeper and have a better chance of getting stuck. And when I bale this, well, we're not stopping to drop a bale in a wet spot, and hopefully we don't have problems. As I found out, you can get across stuff with the mower and the rakes, but the baler sinks like a brick. And I'm not really gonna do any headlands. I'm hoping I end up in such a fashion that I'll be over there by the gates to sneak back through. This is fairly rectangular back here, and it ended somewhat nice. I kinda gotta guess the shape I need to make, or the loop, to have this come out in a spiral pattern. I hope this works out, because I don't want to have to come back here and rake headlands, because then I got to drive through my wet spots again. Like that's one of them. Even the rake tires are wet. You can kind of see there's a divot right there and there's a divot right here. That's where the hay is settled into the previous tracks. And the TC doesn't run in those, that way I don't press the hay down in the mud even more. The TC only weighs like 2,500, I think, and that's like soaking wet. It's a light little guy. And it's struggling a little bit more. I'm in high too, and we're struggling a little bit pulling the rakes. I can feel it right now. I'm not hitting the diff lock, but I could feel it lug down and the tires do a little something on me. The good news is that I will always mow this section in the same way I'm raking it pretty much. So I won't suffer from these ruts until maybe that fence right there gets taken down. Then I'm driving crossways. Then I will hate myself. It's funny, they said something in the news about the effects of Hurricane Ida will be felt for many years to come. Well, the inch of rain coupled with the wet summer, I could be feeling these tracks I'm leaving in places for years to come, that's for sure. Definitely won't be liking myself for them at all. Well, this almost worked out. I got my last pass, but I'm heading back that way. So there's an odd number of lines in this field. That's why it didn't work out. I needed an even number. There's a gate at the other end, but it's not wide enough to get this through. I'd have to break it down, and even then, because of the trees, the gate doesn't quite open all the way for me. And it'd be a tough sell. So I need to get back in over there. You can see all my loops. Need to get back in over there and make a headland. Clean that up. So I'm gonna be deadheading it back over there, which is not what I wanted to do. But we didn't get stuck. It feels like it. Like going through here, I can feel the tractor. If we listen, hopefully it comes out on camera, but I can feel it dig in. Now, I know if I get stuck with this guy, then I could be super sunk later. But you can see them there. We're just gonna put it in a high gear, dump the clutch on the one side. Well, we'll be easy, but we're gonna run right through the mud and not stop. Now this is what pains me, is I gotta run over this hay again. This tractor's not wide enough. Ugh. Maybe we'll just run over one side of it, not both edges now. And then just kind of flip it with the rake there on the corner. It's a good thing I'm not trying to square this. I might have tried to square this section right here, actually. But with the ground moisture, that would be a terrible idea. I mean, because once you're pulling the wagon and stuff, they drop it down, but there could be almost a wagon load of hay in this short little area. And that's probably fueled by the moisture, making the grass grow so incredibly well. Oh, why did I do this? This is annoying right here. Well, having the mounts and the framework for the belly mower helped pull that wad apart and drag it with us. Oh, how much are we gonna fit? That side's clearing. That means over here, we're gonna miss by a mile. And I mean miss, I mean we're not gonna make it. I wonder if they ever made these with hydraulic slide in and out. All we gotta do is pull it crooked and then come back to ourselves. Come on. There we go. I mean, it's easy enough to do that. It may not be fun always getting out of the tractor. How fast should it? Let's go slow. Past that post. We're past over there. Last windrow to make. And then clean up the ends. We saw me clean up the ends before, so I'll get back to you when I fold this mess up. Now for the fun little bit of folding this all up. Pull our little lever. Since I don't have enough room to get out of my way here into the trees, we'll kind of push that bit of hay back. Offload the freeloaders that decided to hitch a ride. We gotta put the 260 first. I couldn't believe doing this without the dolly wheels. I know I said this before. I don't know how they ever did this without the dollies. Got our lovely hitch pin bolts. We'll go ahead and take it up a few turns before we hit the road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I like 8 today. It varies. Sometimes I'll do 10. Sometimes I'll do more. Sometimes I only did 5 once. Just trying not to scratch the road on the way home. Guess we'll both do them 8, so next time I go to the field I know exactly what I'm getting myself into. Same number of turns. Now putting the one rake on the back is a bit more of a challenge. We have to roll it farther. Well, that little lack of hay in that spot's convenient. The only bad part, it's coming from that side, which is never going to change, is that I'll be really almost too close with this corner of the rake. We watch it get close. It looks like we barely have enough room. To sneak in there, nothing will touch. Pick off the schmutz. I might try to grab this pile. There, human hay rake time. We're ready to hit the road. That's not too horrendous. Watch it all straighten out. That's the most fun part. Have it hooked up all. Man, I really gotta watch where I'm driving, shouldn't I? Hopefully we can back it up, if only a few feet. Wouldn't that be a miracle to back it up really far? We didn't jackknife it too much. Now somebody watch where we're going forward. And we'll make it through these gates just fine. Well, we'll call that a fun raking video. We'll catch you guys later. And that'll probably be the round bailing this here in a few minutes.